Next thing we need to do is, oh, there's a 10. Looks like the Reich is now in the game. That shot was heard by the rest of the house, and that has alerted the Reich. I just coincidentally happened to be at the end of the turn because McNeil was last, so it would have taken us to initiative anyway. Had it not taken us to initiative, we would have waited for the Reich to activate next turn as opposed to this one. So we would have finished up the guards this turn and then activated them next turn. We'll roll for initiative. And the Reich, holy cow, they've got it again. Okay, so the Reich will go first. And the way it works with them is they're going to activate. I've put them in their turn order. I think it's a good idea to set their order early and then leave it in that order, their activation order. So it's here on Von Heisinger, and then it's going to be Eula, and then Eva, and then the Shock Trooper is going to go last. That is the order that I will draw the cards in every single round. If somebody dies, and we just skip that person and we go to the next one. That way, there's never a question on what the order is going to be. The second thing, at least for this scenario, is every time you activate one of the troopers simultaneously, one of the guards in order of their activation will activate as well. If a guard dies, you just go to the next person in order until they've all gone. So if I have 4 Reich troopers or 4 Reich troopers and heroes characters left, and I only have 2 of these guys left, they will activate with the first 2 characters of the Reich when they activate. In this case, yellow is going to go first, and that is this guy right here. So he is going to move his allotted 5, and we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. He's headed over towards that crate. 5 right here, and he sits right there. But at the same time, we also are going to activate Von Heisinger, and I have his stack of cards right over here, and we'll see what his card says. Okay, this is the card that was drawn for Von Heisinger. What you first do is look at the top part. He has the command pack, and this happens to be a card that all 3 of them do the same thing: command, stamina, and combat. So we look at number 1, and we just go down in order. If it's possible for him to do the first thing, that's what he will do. And it says, if an enemy target is within range and a second enemy target shares his path, use the Patmos Amulet to make him attack the other with the most powerful weapon. That is kind of what Von Heisinger does. His range for this would be his mental value +1, and his mental value is 6. So he has a range of 7. The person can be out of path for this. So if we look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are just out of path, or we are just out of range. So he's not going to be able to do number 1. We look at number 2, and if only 1 target is within range, move him and fire the P-38. Use remaining movement to move away from the target, staying out of the path of enemies if possible. There is nobody within range, so he doesn't do number 2 either. And number 3, if no targets are within movement range, move toward... Oh, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has a movement value of 6. So 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 6, 5, 6. Yeah, so number 2 is not possible either. So we go all the way to 3. If no targets, which is pretty rare, if no targets are within movement range, move toward the nearest friendly character, trying to get within 6 spaces of as many friendlies as possible. So he is going to try to get within range of other characters. The closest ones, and these guards count, the closest ones are the guards. So he's going to move 2, 4, 5, and he's going to sit himself right there. And that's pretty much what he does because he wasn't able to attack this round. Okay, that was the first Reich turn, and we are back to the top, which means Barry's going to go. He has a guard sitting right in front of him, so he is going to turn ever so slightly and try to blow the hell out of that guy. He is going to use the flash gun, and ooh, that's a little bit bright. There we go. You can choose 2 different adjacent targets, but we don't have to. Apply the same attack roll on both of them. In addition, when attacking with the weapon, this is the important part for us. If you roll at least 1 natural 10 on your attack roll, roll 2 additional dice and add the result. So he's already rolling. This is what's cool about these little cards, is it's right up in the corner. He's already rolling 5 dice for this. If he rolls a 10, he gets a couple extra. He can really do some van damage on this one. So we'll get his dice. And his current attack value, he needs a 4 or better to hit. So 1, 2, there's your 10, 3, 4, and he gets to roll 2 additional dice because he has 1 natural 10. And there's another one. So that guard's in a little bit of trouble. He's been hit 5 times at close range by Barry, so things are not looking up for that guard. He gets a shock roll, however. He needs a 6 or better. He shrugs off 1 of them. We were back to the top of the round, so this really should have been at 2. If it's possible, he will try to shake off another one, so he does, which takes us down to 1 command point for the Reich again. But even that is only going to be 2 saves. and he only has 1 health left anyway, so he is a dead. Okay, the next thing Barry's going to do, he has not moved yet, so he is going to move 1, 2, 3, and he is going to sit right there and get himself nice and close into Alpha and Delta, and then hopefully get one of those charges before things go awry. We already have them from the first round, so we just need to get them to their X spots and then get the heck out of here any way possible. We are up to the Reich again, and the Reich's next person to go is going to be Eula, and she happens to be standing guard watching over the guards taking the crates out here at the door. She is going to activate next. We'll pull up her card, and these cards I have not yet printed professionally, so I have them in just a printed form, so if it's a little glary from the camera, my apologies. She happens to have the stamina pack. If it has a little bubble down here, you check the bubble first and do whatever it says before you actually do the turn. And it says if Eula has lost one of her polonium, flip it back over so it can be used on a roll of 1 to 4. Well, she has not lost it at all. She does have it. It is right in here, but she has not used it, so she's good to go. And how do we know if she used it? It'll be triggered by one of the cards. So we go up to her. This is another one where it's command, stamina, and combat all together. Many of them are like that. She will, number 1, if able, move adjacent to the nearest enemy and attack with Kruger. Destroy the enemy's primary weapon with a natural 10. Well, she is not even close to being within movement range. Her movement range is 7, and she can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She's never going to get close to anybody, so that is a no-go. She is going to try to move onto the path of the nearest enemy and attack with the Luger. That's if she can't get into close range, and that's a no-go as well. And then finally move as far out of path of all enemies as possible. This is one of those common sense decisions. We know that she has to get after the Union. She is out of path of everybody. The only place she could really go that would be further would be to retreat back into this corner back over here, and since she is not engaged with anybody currently, she's about as far out of path as she needs to be. Common sense decision number 1 says let's just leave her there, and that will be her turn. We'll discard this one, and we'll move on to the Union. Up next is going to be Delta's going to go. Delta's got the next turn here. He happens to have a couple of charges. He wants to get moving towards one of the spots where they have to be set. So the first thing he is going to do, he can move through guys. So he is going to go 1, 2. He's going to use his activation to give one of the charges from here up there to Barry. Now he's got one. That leaves everybody except McNeil with a charge, which is a good thing. And he's going to continue his movement. He's going to head to probably the easiest corner. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. One of the spots that the charges need to be put. Oh crap, he went the wrong way. Alright, well, for the sake of the game I should have checked that, and he should have checked his map. He is in the wrong spot. He should be over here and not over here, but that's okay because we have other guys with charges. We'll just keep moving him along and try to get him over into this room where he can lay the charges there, so not a problem. But that is going to be his turn, and Delta is done. Well, some of you may have noticed I forgot to move a guard last turn with Eula, so not a big deal. This guard is not engaged with anybody anyway. He is going to go in through here. He is going to use his activation to uncover, and it's okay to flip it now because I already uncovered it. Normally he would carry this without us knowing, but he happens to have a shotgun here. His primary weapon is better than that anyway, but he's going to now carry that. Apparently that's what's in this crate. I'm going to remove that crate, so he's going to finish up his movement. We're going to leave him right there. For right now. That would be his movement. He is currently on his way out of the building. If you want to take a quick look again, you can see it's his job to go in, get that crate, and then move up to the next spot up in there. So he is done. The next guard to activate, and this would be on this Reich's turn, it would be on Eva's turn, is going to be the blue. Yellow, red, blue. Actually, no, it's this guy. It's going to be our green guy. He is going 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and guess what? He's going to use his activation, and he'll pick up that crate. We won't look at it just for time's sake. Oops, my bad with the camera. So he has picked that thing up, and he is on his way out on next turn. Activating with him is going to be Eva, and we'll take her card. See what it says here. She happens to have the stamina pack as well. And this is one where there are different things for different cards. So in hers, there is nothing, no bubble on the bottom, so we go straight to it. Perform action number 1 above, which happens to be, if possible, move within range 2 of the nearest enemy and attack with strafe. She has a movement value of 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. She can't get within movement value 8 of anybody. She can't get within strafe range. If possible, move onto the path of the nearest enemy and attack with the Luger. That she may be able to do. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, she can get on the path right here and attack Barry. So she's going to pull out the Luger. Let me grab that stuff. Okay, we have the Luger out. She's within range, obviously. She's on path, which is one of the cool things about the circle paths. She is going to roll. And the only special thing with the Luger is that Barry couldn't counterattack if he wanted to, and that wasn't going to happen. So she has a value of 5, so she needs a 5 in order to hit, and it looks like she did pretty well. 1 and 2, that was a 5 at one point, and 3, and then that one's a miss. Shock roll for Barry, so we got 3 hits. Barry needs on a shock roll a 4 or better, so he is going to save on 2 of those things, and of course we will use a command point to save the 3rd one, so no damage on Barry whatsoever. And that is Eva's turn. Okay, after some quick reflection, it looks like we're going to have Alpha move, and okay, the grenade deals 4 automatic successes, and it's going to do it to the guard and both and him and Heisinger, since they are adjacent to each other. And the interesting thing about this is there's only 1 command point left. That guard does have both of his points of health left, so we'll see what his shock roll is like, and pretty good actually. He got rid of 3, and he's going to shake off the last one with that command point. Now, what that does is that leaves Heisinger with no command points. His stamina value is a 4, so he needs a 6 or better to shake these things off. Powerful guy, but he can be hurt. Alright, he actually did a really nice job on that too. Shook off 4 of them, but he does take a wound, and so we will come up here to his track, which had been previously down on 0 because in the last game he was taken out. But we will move him down 1, which doesn't have a huge effect on him. His to hit's a little bit worse, and his movement's a little bit worse, but other than that, he's okay. So, first blow has been struck against the Reich. We currently only moved 1, 2, 3, and he has a movement value of 7, so we are going to continue moving and go 4, 5, 6, 7, and we're going to send this little guy up here. Alright, that will take care of Alpha's turn, and it's on to the Reich. Alright, it was Eula's turn, and we've pulled her card. She has the stamina pack, so this one happens to be one where it's separated. There is no bubble on the bottom, so we just take a look at the stamina pack itself. And if Eula is able to get adjacent to an enemy, move and attack with Kruger using polonium. Change all natural ones into successes, then discard the polonium token. Alright, now this one is one where I probably should have armed her with the polonium token, because normally this is something that doesn't go away, but in the solo version of this, this is something that can get used up. So after making a melee attack, you may change a single natural 1 result into a regular success. That's not a natural 10. Usually you can only do that for 1 of them, but the card rules take precedent over the game rules, and so the red all is what's in favor of the single natural 1, but then we have to get rid of polonium when it's done. So let's have her get in range, and she can do so. 1, 2, 3, 4. She's on path. Point the gun at him. Looks like Alpha's going to take a little bit of damage here, so she's going to attack him. If we take a look at Kruger, we can see that it's a pretty badass weapon. When attacking with this weapon, add 1 natural die to your attack roll. Additionally, when attacking with this weapon, if you roll at least 1 natural 10 on your attack roll, you may destroy your target's weapon or hardware equipment tokens of your choice. A destroy token is flipped face down. It continues to take up space in the target's inventory, but it may not be used for the rest of the game. So it is very possible that Alpha could lose his rifle, since he has already discharged his grenade. We'll see what happens here. She gets 5 dice. This is normally a hand-to-hand weapon, but since it is her special weapon, she'll take 5 dice. And she needs a 5 to hit, so we have 1, 2, 3 hits here. and there's her natural 1 was right there. And according to the card, all natural 1s are successes, so she has 4 hits. On Alpha, we only have 1 command point, so we'll take Alpha's shock roll, and he has a value of 5, so he's able to get rid of 3 of those, and he will use, he'll use the command point, and now we're down to 0 command points, but Alpha didn't take any damage from that attack. If I have one complaint about the game of Tannhauser, it is that it does seem to take quite a bit to wound a character. I mean, she is right up next to him and got 4 successes, and he is able to dodge all of those successes, and she's supposed to be pretty badass with that weapon, so kind of makes you wonder a little bit. One of the things that I did not do with Eula yet is I did not move another trooper. That would be the second movement, which happens to be red. Red is dead, so we would go on to the next one, and that would be green up here, and he's going to move 1, 2, 3. They can only move 3 when they have a crate with him, and he does happen to have a crate with him. So that would be it for him. Okay, we are on to McNeil.